All right, well, welcome everyone. I'm excited to cook this new soup with you. It's chilled roasted red pepper and fennel soup inspired by Once Upon a Chef who did not use roasted fennel. She used anise seeds. And we just heard from Terry Sirota, who finished hers, thought it doesn't need to be a chilled soup. Hot is great. And she went ahead and roasted a bunch of fennel and used the anise seeds and loved it. All right. Good to hear. Denise, you cooking with us or do you already cook?
The roasted vegetables are just finishing up.
Perfect. All right. Well, we were trying to decide. Lisa and I were talking about not using the anise seeds, because I thought the roasted fennel gave it enough. But Terry said, nope, I did both. And it's one of my favorite soups we've ever made. So there you go. Terry, did you go ahead and use the balsamic vinegar? Because I liked this soup even before I put it in.
I love the balsamic in it.
Okay.
And I actually instead of a third of a teaspoon of cayenne, I used a half a teaspoon.
I agree. A little more kick would be nice. Right?
It was good.
Good. Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy. Yeah. Hi, Salma. Hi, Alexa. Salma, look who's on. Ooh, Annette.
Yes. I saw that she was going to be. Hi, Annette. Nice to see you.
Same here. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
She posted on our first KindSoup Stories post.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I'm excited to go see it.
Yeah. What a pretty logo. The green, the logo, nice.
Oh, good. Hi, Holly. Hi, Alexa. So you guys, the prep on this is so darn easy. You probably mostly have already done it. We're just cutting big chunks of the veggies. And we've got Rabbi Adam Raskin joining us today. I think that's Marge. But anyway, everybody already roast their veggies, or how are you doing, Holly? You just starting out?
No, I'm roasted.
Dang, you ladies. We're going to have time for a glass of wine at the end of this call.
Sounds good. Perfect.
Yeah, this is such an easy soup, and I really, really like it. I'm glad that the early returns are all good.
So blender or food processor?
You know what? Oh, either one, but not an immersion blender. This
not immersion. Okay.
Yeah. Hate to say it, you got to move it to something bigger.
I'm sorry. Why?
Well, I mean, go ahead and try it, but I roasted big chunks, and I just thought I have a Vitamix. It's not down in the basement, and it took about 3 buttons pressed for 3 seconds, and the whole thing was the way I wanted it. A little chunky, but everything went through the blade. So try it, Marge.
The thing I don't understand, well, that's all I have. I'm not going to the basement to find that mystery, whatever it is.
It'll work.
Yeah, and I'm certainly not going to use a blender because I hate them, because you have to clean them and they're just awful.
You could throw it out and just buy a new one, Marge.
No, you know what I could do? You know that blender? I'm sure that an Afghan family wants that blender.
They sure do. Why is that not on my front table outside?
Well, I don't know, but I have a KitchenAid, one of those mixers that is sitting in my hallway that needs to go.
If you would like someone to have that. Boy, I should have had Aiden pick it up last week.
Aiden was already full. Aiden was wonderful. How nice. How wonderful when he came.
Good boy. Yeah.
I hope they were very happy. I gave them some of my tomatoes and peppers from my garden.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm inundated with with cherry tomatoes, and I also have this beauty. Isn't this nice? Look at it.
Wow.
I learned after the first one, if they start to turn a little orange, you got to grab them, because otherwise someone somehow gets in, maybe it's the birds, and destroys them.
I had no idea.
Here's one that I picked about a week ago. It was green when I picked it. Look at it now.
Beautiful now.
Not quite ripe, but it's getting there. I have about 5 of them sitting on the counter. So that's really a nice thing.
Nice, very nice.
Okay. Diane just sent a Homes Not Border email about they need twin sheets, I think. They needed some things that I was just going to give her.
Nice.
Okay. Because Homes Not Borders has a warehouse. So if they get too many, they get too many, right?
exactly.
Okay. So on the soup, I guess the real question I have is about the water. The water comes in at the end. It says, so I've got everything in the pot. And you know me, I cheated. I didn't roast peppers. I used the jarred peppers, but I did roast the fennel and the onions. And then I added it all to a pot and warmed it up a little. And now it's sitting here and it's probably cool. It's been sitting there for an hour. I've got the rosemary in, I've got the pepper in. I haven't added any more salt yet because I haven't tasted it. So it says you're supposed to puree it, and then you're supposed to add 7.5 quarts, 7.5 cups of water, 7.5 cups. So
Terry's going to speak to your question.
okay.
Yeah.
Terry, you just muted yourself.
The soup really thickens as it cools. So adding the water, I made my soup already, and as I added the water, I'm thinking, oh no, I'm making it too runny. But now that it's cooled, it's the exact perfect consistency. So
Okay.
I would recommend adding the water.
Okay, I'll add half of it and then I'll keep going.
Sure.
Again, I
I
don't want to.
almost added more water. You know.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Great. Okay, I'll do that right now. With an immersion blender just for Deb.
Yeah, let us know how it works. Because this is the
Okay.
first time I decided I wasn't even going to try it.
I'm a little confused. Are we supposed to cook this soup?
You
Or
don't
is
have
it-
to cook it. No, you're
No,
cooking.
so
You're
why,
cooking. Well,
why was it warm? Are those just because you're
Oh,
vegetables?
it was warm because you roast the vegetables.
Oh, okay. Mine have been sitting out for a
Oh
while.
yeah, yeah. No.
Cool.
I just threw mine in the Vitamix right after they roasted.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
And does anybody have a final product before I start blending? I just want to see what I'm supposed to shoot for.
mine is very thick. And
Okay,
this
but like the
is,
spot thick, right?
actually, mine is even a little, can you see
Oh,
that? It's
interesting,
very
yeah.
thick. I still have a little bit of blending and I may do a little bit more. You know, I used some of this outside parts of the fennel and the onion to make a little bit of a broth rather than just water. So I may put some
Right.
of that in, but mine right now is quite thick.
It's
Terry,
thick.
Terry's showing you hers. She's finished.
I'm gonna try. I'm just
Okay.
flipping my iPad over. You'll have to tell me if you see anything. or
Don't
not,
dump
but
your
this
iPad in your soup.
Right.
Is that showing anything?
Yes, go a little farther. Just a
yeah.
Oh,
We're
yours is
close.
nice and beautiful. It's liquidy. Can
Yeah.
you, Terry, pick the spoon up and let us see it fall? Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Like that.
And that's
that's-
exactly what the recipe called for, 7.5 cups.
Yep.
Very good.
Exactly. Yep.
Perfect.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you guys like this soup. I have a great one. The next one is going to be, I don't know, we'll see, a cucumber soup. We'll see. Oh, welcome back, Cheryl. But the week after that, I found a delicious, we didn't really make any corn soup this summer, and I found a corn chowder, vegan, but with that creamy, smoky, yummy flavor. So if you're a bacon person, go ahead and put it in, but it's not in this recipe. You don't need it, and it should be fantastic. So that's the last Monday of the month. We'll be making that one. So I'm excited for that. I hope you guys will all join us.
I want to talk about the immersion blender.
Go ahead.
It was absolutely fine. I will tell you that I do not need to add any salt. I don't need to add that last tablespoon. I can tell it's salty enough. Now we'll see what happens when I add the water. That said, before I roasted my vegetables, and remember, I only roasted the onions and the fennel was sliced and quartered. Okay.
Right.
And the onion was in eighths, not in quarters.
So you did small vegetables and then the immersion blender worked absolutely fine.
Yeah, because we're not small. I mean, they were good sized onions, but I didn't want to cook. I mean, it just takes them too long to cook. I only cooked them for, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes, not for 40.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yes. So now I'll add my water and see how I do.
So I'm just getting started and my oven is on, and I was actually going to do this recipe, but minus the fennel.
Okay.
So, and did anybody else make it without fennel or? No, they all followed
Although-
directions.
Yeah, no, everybody did the fennel, but I'll tell you, the original recipe did not call for the fennel. It was just aniseed. So you can do that. And Once Upon a Chef will be very happy with you.
I'm sorry, I left that out. I forgot to tell you. I did leave out the aniseed. I should see if I have any, but I don't think so.
Yes,
I don't think
some of
any-
the comments in the original recipe say they didn't use those seeds, but anyway, I don't think it's got like a licorice flavor to it, right? That's what. the
Yeah, but
fennel
when you
originally-
roast it, it's really very subtle, Cheryl, I promise you. I'm not a licorice person. I don't eat licorice candy, but roasted fennel is one of the great things in life.
I gotta taste it sometime,
Not
but I
this.
don't have any fennel.
Okay.
So,
So Deb,
Yep.
I'm just going to introduce this KindSoup stories that we're going to be doing and read the first post that I just shared, which is this poem, which is so reminiscent of what we do together. It's a beautiful find by our intern Tara, who is helping put all this together. So every week, probably on Thursday or Friday, we'll share a little nugget about soup, something about its history, how soup appears in literature and art and poetry, just to provide flavor to what we do. And so the first one that we just shared is a poem called Potato Soup, and it's by Daniel Nikos, I think. And I'll just read it. I set up my computer and webcam in the kitchen so I can ask my mother's and aunt's advice as I cook soup for the first time alone. My mother is in Utah. My aunt is in Hungary. I show the onions to my mother with the webcam. Cut them smaller, she advises. You only need a taste. I chop potatoes as the onions fry in my pan. When I say I have no paprika to add to the broth, they argue whether it can be called potato soup. My mother says it will be white potato soup. My aunt says potato soup must be red. When I add sliced peppers, I ask many times if I should put the water in now, but they both say to wait until I add the potatoes. I add Polish sausage because I can't find Hungarian, and I cook it so long the potatoes fall apart. You've made stew, my mother says, when I hold up the whole pot to the camera. They laugh and say I must get married soon. I turn off the computer and eat alone.
Oh. So funny. It reminds me of when we pick up our computers to show what we've got.
Yes,
and
yes,
everything
exactly.
else
I mean,
about it.
Who would have thought somebody wrote a poem about cooking soup with others by computer?
That's adorable. I love it.
Fun.
Thank you for doing that. I'm excited to go see it.
Sure, sure. Each week, tune in. It's just a way to kind of expand and elaborate on our KindSoup project and hopefully entice others to join us, pique their curiosity about what we do every Monday. And each of you on the call, please encourage friends, family, neighbors to join us. We're, as you know, on every Monday. It's such a simple way to do good and have fun and just be together. So we're trying to grow the program, and we hope you'll help us.
Absolutely. It's amazing, isn't it, how many good recipes we found? And, mostly really very quickly coming together for large quantities. It really is, to me, a complete joy.
I was Googling KindSoup earlier to get the recipe. And for the first time, something popped up, which is a children's book called KindSoup.
Well, that annoys me.
Well, no, I mean, it might be a way to
You know what?
spread the word.
No, we did see that before. Was it Salma? Did you and I see it? Somebody and I saw that before, and it was just, I think it's got a religious undertone, and it's completely not what we're hoping to do. But all right, I'm going to do some more mixing, so I'm muting.
Before you mix, I was going to talk a little bit about the recipe we made yesterday.
What did you make? Which one?
We made the black bean and chipotle chowder. Only if you can't find chipotle powder, you can use smoked paprika and it comes out just fine because you're looking for the smokiness. It was a really, really good soup.
Good.
That said, it's so much dicing. They were whining about the dicing, and then they're like, "Oh, this is good." I'm like, "Okay, no more whining."
Marge, have them make this soup next time. They'll love not one chop.
On this one, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I used jarred peppers and I used jarred tomatoes.
Yeah.
So I did cut them a little. I cut them a little bit, but they're already soft because they've already been roasted.
Yeah,
So
but I mean, cutting up a couple of green peppers and a tomato. But I'd like to make that black bean soup if you love it in the, maybe in the fall or winter.
Yeah, it was a good soup, and
Okay,
it's 7 quarts. So you were on copy on the recipe, I think.
Probably,
you saw
yeah.
The recipe. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, now you may go blend.
Okay, thanks. Oh, Lisa, you should have heard the grinding as my Vitamix was trying to go through the fennel stalks. Ha! Although I think it did it. So it leaves it a little bit hairy, but it's pretty good. If you don't mind hairy soup, it's not bad.
Deb, what do you mean by hairy soup?
So Alexa, you get these beautiful fennel bulbs, right? And then coming out of the fennel bulbs are these stalks of things that you kind of want to use. But the first time making it, I knew not to use it. And then on top of that, you get this beautiful wispy looking dill-like stuff. And those you can use kind of like herbs, but whatever. So last week when I made this, I only used the fennel bulbs. And like Lisa, I cut a little V into it to get rid of the core. That's really a little. Today, I decided I'm going to actually try to roast some of those stalks. And so I cut them in smaller pieces and I cut them in half and I roasted them. And I took a bite out of one and it was pretty soft. And Lisa warned me, you maybe don't want to use those no matter what you're thinking, Deb. And, Lisa's always right. But I'm like, this, what's the word where you don't listen to anything your parents say? Anyway, I just blended it up. And the taste is good. The texture in the soup is good, but I don't know if you can see it. There's like little pieces that hang down where they wouldn't if those stalks weren't all ground up. So it's like not hair so much as little fibers that
Wispy
don't.
bits. I gotcha.
Okay.
So what I do when I buy fennel is I chop that part off and I rinse it and then I put it in my freezer along with my onion skins, and that's always the base of my vegetable stock. And
Yes.
that's what I did yesterday, was I cut it off and I made vegetable stock to make the soup with.
Yeah.
But I'm packing to move, and I managed to pack my dried rosemary already in a box. So shortly I will go out and get some fresh rosemary for the soup, because I whizzed it up in my Cuisinart. And it's very tasty, and I really like the balsamic vinegar, as Terry said. It really adds something nice.
It's such a great combination of flavors, right?
Yeah, it's good. It's nice and fresh.
I think it's really nice. I mean, I've now blended mine and added 1 quart of soup. I need to add, another 3/4 of a quart. I'm waiting to see how much it soaks up based on what Terry said. I'm going to
Yeah.
give it a minute to do its thing.
It's going to be more watery when you first add the water. It's
Right.
as it kind of gels together, it thickens a little bit. So
I think I'm light on tomatoes. I only used one 28-ounce can.
yeah.
Now, it was plum tomatoes. It was 11 tomatoes. It was a good chunk, but plum tomatoes
Yeah.
are smaller than other
Small.
ones.
Yeah, so you might not need as much water.
Right. I will see. I'm going to let it sit for a while and see what it does. But Debbie, you're a wild woman, rebelling with those. I do the same thing with my fronds. I put them in the freezer and I use them for vegetable broth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great, I love using up everything like you guys.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
Well, and whatever's dirty that I can't, like, I really don't want to have to scrub and clean that much, I
Yeah.
chop off and I throw in the compost, because we're a full service. We use everything around here.
I love it.
So how complex is next week's soup?
So easy. Oh my God, it's another just like you want to pull it up, Marge? Looks like you're kind of
I think, yeah, it looks like I'm hanging out and sitting.
you're
Yeah.
hanging out. So let's
Let
pull it
me,
up and
wait,
it's
let me
so
finish.
easy.
I want to finish reading this before I put it away. So what can I do? I know it doesn't need salt. Oh, you want me to add the balsamic? How much is that asking for? 3 tablespoons. Okay. Let me go.
Terry said to not be worried and don't be shy with your balsamic.
Okay. Cucumber, pepper.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the cayenne that she went a little overboard on and liked it.
Mine is spicy enough. I put the cayenne in already. Okay, so what is this stuff on top of this soup? What is, oh, that's a zucchini that's shredded. How fancy. The squash, yellow squash that's shredded. I'm so impressed.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Does it matter what color peppers?
Well, it's just going to affect the color of your soup. So I'm going to say no, it doesn't matter at all. How's that for an answer?
It's going to turn out brown with all these different colors.
Then you may not love that. Try to go with as many reds as you've got and then add orange next and yellow last.
It's green. Yeah.
You have a green pepper?
Anyway.
All right, whatever you do is going to be good, but perhaps not red.
Oh, don't use the green pepper? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's not going to be the beautiful color that most of these are coming out like.
Next week's soup
Yeah.
is calling for sheep yogurt. Why do I have to find a sheep to
I
give me
need to
yogurt?
like make a decision about that. Marge, let's do that while we're on together, since I haven't like figured out what I want to do about that yogurt yet.
Sheep's milk yogurt is so delicious. It is absolutely my favorite. You can get it at Wegmans. It's in a green container. It's in a green container. You can find it at Wegmans. You can find it at Mom's Market. I haven't shopped at Whole Foods in a long time.
Alexa?
Huh? Say that again.
Will it cause the soup to freeze any more problematically or no?
I have no idea. It's just, there's a tang to it that is really unlike the cow's milk. And I really love the tanginess. And Mom's Market also has another Bell's Weather Bell something farm in a tan container that's really, really delicious too. So again, freezing soups that have yogurt in it is always an issue. I don't know that sheep's milk would be different than cow's milk.
Found that she's not had trouble freezing soups with yogurt. Am I wrong, Marge?
Well, no, we haven't had problems with that. We don't use it very often because, of course, we never see it when it's frost. So I'm always kind of thinking it's going to be grainy. But I know where Mom's is. It's not exactly convenient. Then where is Wegmans?
There's a Wegmans in McLean, just over the bridge, if you dare come to Virginia.
I don't have a problem with going to Virginia. I have a problem with the fact that they're doing construction still and they keep closing down Georgetown
Yes,
Pike.
that would be
That's why I don't go to Virginia. I used to go all the time.
Georgetown Pike. Yeah, in Maryland.
No, in Virginia.
Oh yeah, Tim,
190.
yeah. That's what you just go past that and you take the 267 exit and then you get off at Tyson's and it's right there. It's very easy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to work there. I just, thank goodness I didn't work there when they were busy redoing that room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was already a mess. Okay, so that's where the Wegmans is. Okay.
And Deb, I was going to say too, I guess the issue is more cooking with yogurt than freezing yogurt, right?
I don't think that soup is a cooking soup, is it, Mark?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. I was remembering yogurt being an issue when we cook it. But yeah, I think that a frozen cold soup should be okay with it.
Well, we'll try.
Marge, I think there's a Wegmans up 270 near the Costco.
Yeah, there's a Wegmans up in Germantown, which is brand new. It's fabulous. I go to the one in Virginia, which is literally 7 miles from my house. And if you don't have traffic, it's in the Capital One Center. So you get off on the 66 heading into Washington and take the first exit and it's right there. Last night, it took me like 8 minutes to get there. So easy, and the store is fabulous. Definitely do a field trip and find it. It's great. Their products are so good.
The only time I go to Virginia is when I get together with my old colleagues.
It's worth a trip. I forget that and go visit at least the one in Germantown because they have the most amazing products. It's like fresh and beautiful and fun. So you can even go there and have lunch because they have a cafe.
But, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to go to Mom's and have lunch there because
it's nothing like Mom's.
I know, but I like Mom's. They make these great salads that last for 2 meals. Those salads, they're great.
I can tell you this is light years better. So that's just my personal taste. But yeah, Wegmans is coming to Rockville Pike. It's going in one of the big construction sites. So it'll be local, right in the heart of North Bethesda, Rockville area.
Okay.
There's also a Wegmans across from Sidwell Friends.
Yeah, in Washington. Yeah. So
okay.
It's great. It's a fun store.
And they deliver, which is great too.
Yeah. Okay, I'm muting so I can grind food.
Mm.
Arch, did you by any chance ever find out if Yvonne's company is doing that play that the playwright who I introduced her to? She was looking to do something Afghan.
You know, I have no idea. I was at her house Saturday, but I was grabbing soup so she'd have room for her Sunday soup in her freezer. So I grabbed what she had because I was up there anyway. And then Sunday she cooked. I could, if I remember, I will ask Ken tomorrow because I'm sure Ken will deliver the soup.
Okay.
So I don't know the answer. I have no idea what she's working on. And I'm, I'd like to know what she's working on.
All right. Well, she wanted to, she was doing International Women's Voices, I think. So
Right.
this Humira Gilzai, who had something to do with Kite Runner on Broadway. And she was very excited to hear that Humira, I think her name is Humira, had another play that was just at the reading stage. And I think they were talking about maybe her putting that on here. So
Yeah, I heard part of that conversation. I don't know what, if anything, happened with that. What do I know? I know nothing.
you can't keep track of everything
I can't keep track of anything.
in this county.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry.
So it is harder to get your dregs out of this Vitamix than when you use the immersion blender, which speaks to your dislike of cleaning.
Right. I mean, it's just such a pain in the neck, and they're sharp, and there's all sorts of stuff going on. And with an immersion blender, all you need to do is, rinse it off and then shake it in a cup of water and the stuff comes off. I don't have to worry about slicing off my fingers.
Oh, don't remind me.
The best thing that my sister got me, that anyone got me for a long time as a present, was when I cut my finger so badly a couple of months ago. She sent me, and I didn't even know they existed, one of those can openers that doesn't, it just makes a smooth top. And it's a great thing. It's, it takes a little more twisting, but it's impossible. Right. One of those things. It's impossible to cut your finger on that.
Yeah.
I mean, all those years, my mother said, "Watch out, you're going to cut your fingers off." Blup, blup, blup. And you know what? I finally did it.
This is
Yeah.
my Pampered Chef. This is from Pampered Chef, and it just takes the top. It takes the top off the can so that
Right.
you can. It does not. I'm running my finger along the top of the can. It's not. It just takes the glue away on the side. So if you need one, you know where to get one. Contact me.
Mine is an OXO one. It's exactly the same, does exactly
Yep.
the same thing. It's just a wonderful tool. And I didn't even know they existed until, and trust me, my sister doesn't know how to open a can. My brother-in-law knows how to open a can, and I'm sure this was his idea, not my sister's.
Well, I even use it with the pop-up, the pull tabs, because you get halfway through and the pull tab is halfway and you can cut yourself. So even if it has a pull tab, I still use my cut yourself.
Yeah, the only thing we're using the regular can opener on is tuna fish. There was a lot of whining in my house about the tuna cans, and it doesn't do well on the tuna cans because the tuna cans are so small, and that it's. And we eat a lot of tuna.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the one complaint I had about it. So they found, I don't know, they took out the other one. They have it hidden somewhere, so I don't have to see it.
Annette?
Yeah.
I want to know how many
Product.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Best new product this year or last year?
Well, we're just coming out with a new catalog, and something that they've come out with, I didn't even get it yet. It's something that you can prep all your vegetables. It's like a glorified cutting board, but it has drawers so you can take your vegetables as you cut them and you put it in the little drawer, and you can actually store the whole thing in your refrigerator and have your chopped up vegetables ahead of time. So I'm going to have to get one of those and play with it. That's the newest thing. But yeah, there's always something new. But the can opener, well, I have to tell you though, I became a Pampered Chef consultant in 2012, and I did not know how to use that can opener for a year because I went to my first party and of course I'm using it like the old fashioned way. And I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So I said to the host, I said, please take this in the back and open it for me. And then I finally figured out how to use it, but it was very embarrassing. But once you know, right? Once you know, it's easy.
Yeah, the first one or two times it's weird because you have to rest. There's like a little thing that you sort of have
That's
to
right.
rest on the middle of the can, and then
Yeah.
it is a little different. It's right. You can't do it this way. It's not this way. You have to do it. But yeah, it's a nice thing. I like that. But I didn't get it from Pampered Chef. I got
No.
it. Mine came from Amazon via OXO, via whatever, via my sister and brother-in-law.
Yeah, they have that brand, definitely.
No, my favorite Pampered Chef thing to this day, and I probably had them 25 years, is
Yeah.
the 1 quart is the one, it's a 1 quart and it's a 2, whatever, this is this. These things. These glass things, these measuring cups that are just, I use them every
Yeah,
part. I make them all the time. I've got a 1 quart and a 2 quart.
Yep.
Yeah, they're great.
I'm just cleaning my spoons and whatnot in here. Just put it in my sink.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, they're absolutely the best. They're heavy, they're sturdy, I use them all the time.
They last,
That's
like you say, they last for years.
oh, absolutely. I mean, truly,
And the garlic press. A lot of people have the garlic press.
My advertisement, the garlic press.
in fairness, I rarely use a garlic press because when I'm making this soup, when I'm making our soups, I always use the pre-cut garlic. It's too much trouble to deal with all that garlic. The quantities are. I'm too lazy. You know, I'm lazy.
Cooking 7 soups a week. It's ridiculous.
I only cooked 3 soups this week. Stop it.
Only.
I'm trying to remember what the third one was. It was earlier in the week. What was it? Was it any good? I don't know. I cooked a red pepper soup 2 weeks ago that was different from this one. I think I like this one better than the one I cooked. Their soup, you know, Joyce isn't on, is she? She gave me the Soup for Syria book. Oh, I know what it was. I cooked something called a pea stew, which is funny because my dearly beloved late former neighbor had a dog named Pea Stew, which I thought was so funny. She'd speak to him in French. It was just too much work. It had tomatoes, it had leeks, it had zucchini, it had yellow squash, it had a fennel bulb, and it had pasta, and it wasn't, for all the work that it wasn't worthy of adding to the list. So I did do that. And they wanted you to make the pea stew separate and then blend it in afterwards. No. This is too much work. So it was fine. It tasted okay, but it wasn't worth the work. It wasn't that good a soup. So that's in the freezer. And yesterday's that black bean chowder thing is in the freezer, and this will go in the freezer. And I'm sure we won't have a problem. You know, sometimes we have a problem getting the soups to freeze by Tuesday morning, and they end up staying until the following week. But this soup is already cool because, you know, I did the roasting so long ago.
Marge, have you tasted yours yet? I'm curious because you didn't roast your red peppers.
Well, my red peppers were already fire roasted, so I didn't have to roast them. And yes, I've tasted it. It's very good. I thought my only comment was that it was saltier than it needed to be. I'm not adding any more salt. And I have not added the balsamic yet. I guess I should add some balsamic.
What do you think that does? Like, maybe you should use a different vinegar, I wonder.
Oh, should I use white balsamic? I'm gonna use white balsamic. Why not?
Denise, if you're in the kitchen, I think I saw you packing yours up. I want to hear how you liked what you made. I think she walked out.
I also want to know how many she got out of this.
What?
How many quarts?
Oh,
Sorry, I stepped away. Did you have a question, Deb?
I was wondering, I saw you putting yours in your soup containers, and I wanted to hear what you thought of the soup. And then Marge wanted to know how many quarts you got out of what you made.
Oh, yeah, I liked it very much. Yeah, turned out pretty good. I had powdered rosemary because I'm always afraid of the rosemary stalks. I've had other soups that I've cooked with where there have been like woody pieces of it, you know. So I used a tablespoon of that, and that was pretty good. But I got over 7 quarts. I put away 7 quarts, and the rest is my dinner.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that. Holly and Cheryl, how's yours coming along? You guys getting close?
Well, I agree that the fennel was a little fibrous, and I roasted it till it was soft. And then I've been pureeing it, putting it in small batches, and I think I'm just going to stop because it's fibrous.
Do you use it in the bulb? Because it's really just the stalks that I had a problem with.
Well, no, even the bulb part, they're you can see them, and so I just pulverized, you know, like really frappéed them. So that's the last batch that's going in. I'm not going to put any more, and it has a very strong flavor. So, but the smokiness of all the roasted vegetables is great.
Good, good, good.
So I like it. And it
Okay.
looks
Where did you buy your fennel?
well, my son gets deliveries of Imperfect Foods, so they sent some fennel this week to us, and they were large fennel. Maybe that was part of it, that they were, you know, a little too old, fibrous. I'm just not used to working with fennel, so you know, I'm not going to be generous with it because I think that's the thickening part of the soup.
I mean, you can always use, I mean, I have fennel powder that I never use, almost never use, but I do have it if it's calling for just a little bit. Because the problem is I buy them at
Well,
Trader
I think
Joe's.
it's kind of like the substitute for the celery, you know, for something that's going to give some meatiness to the soup. Otherwise, it's just kind of mushy vegetables. So, but I mean, I think the taste is delicious. I love it. The fennel,
agree. Great.
very unique flavor. So, yeah, good recipe.
Yeah.
And I've cut up my vegetables. I've been distracted, but I have my peppers and onion cut, and I'm about to move on to my tomatoes. You roasted the tomatoes also, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you did?
Do you take the juice out, or you keep the juice?
Oh, you put all those juices, you take whatever's on your aluminum foil on your roasting tray, and you pour it all into your blender.
Okay.
Or whatever you're
Okay, I'll get another tray for the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Cheryl, remember to cut those onions. You know, if you want to reduce the time and make them softer, cut them into 8s. Oh, you're fine. Yeah. Yeah. No, I had, you know, when you cut them into quarters were too big. 8s.
Okay, yeah, I made everything little, so it wouldn't take long at that point. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I have a fraction of what you guys are making, so but it seems to be taking me a long time today.
We'll be over at 10 o'clock tonight to taste to see how it comes out.
Selma, how are you doing? You're good?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I'm just wondering, I'm catching up because most people are pretty much done at this point.
Yeah.
Annette's making beef and barley, so we're gonna check in with her next time on that. How are you doing, Selma? You need
Good. I sent you a picture of my soup.
Oh, you're done. Okay, good.
Take a look at the picture.
Okay, let's see. Shall I share screen and look at it?
Just something cute. It's in your text.
Oh, it's adorable. I am going to share screen. Hold on. You guys will love this. That is so cute. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Isn't that sweet? I love it.
Very nice. I think she just pulled it out of a book somewhere. Is that a real picture? Looks
That's a
great.
real picture. I just sent it. I used the balsamic vinegar to make a smiley face and stuck rosemary for a little twig
It's
of
so
love.
cute.
It's adorable. Mine is much more red than that. Far more red.
Because you had those red peppers from the jar. I think you maintained a better.
Oh,
Oh, and you didn't do a lot of tomatoes. That might.
but that would have made it even more red.
Yeah. Sometimes when you blend tomatoes, they get a little orangey, don't they? I don't know why.
I don't know. These were this was a nice can. Every once in a while, the Giant just throws those big cans on sale of tomatoes. And whenever they do, I just buy them. It's because they last forever.
Yeah.
But I really like it. It's got a sharp taste to it. I'm about to feed my husband. We'll see. We'll see what the expert says.
Annette, Annette, don't forget, let me know how you like that beef and barley, the way you're changing it up, because I'd love to make
Yeah,
it all.
it's looking pretty good. So I'll write it down, what I tweaked, and I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it out.
Good. Want to lead us with it? Well, see what your friend thinks. Anyway, I hope your friend loves the soup. That's so nice that you do that for them.
Well, whenever I take care of this couple, I always bring them soup. So I go twice a month, 2 Tuesdays a month. And so they've had many different types of soup.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
I think I'm going to let everyone go. It looks like most of the kitchens are looking kind of empty. Lisa?
Yep.
Everyone okay? Yeah?
Yes, I've done all my blending and I am just finally chopping my rosemary
Oh, good.
and adding it in. As my standard, I have 2 pots because it made so much. And so I had to split. And so I'm dividing and conquering.
Excellent. All right. Everybody good if we sign off a few minutes early today? Okay. See you next week, everyone. I will be calling in from vacation. So we'll see how that cucumber soup is and have a really wonderful week. All right. Bye-bye.